got a couple of pieces of Black Clover news in particular, starting off with, it seems as though Shonen Jump is trying to be innovative. It seems as though they're looking at certain properties and they're like, yo dog, let's try something. Because as you know, the space of anime and manga has been building and slowly but surely exploding like it's never been before with popularity. And it seems as though Shonen Jump was like, I bet we got something for you. We're gonna try this. You ready for it? Because according to this article, it says Black Clover will be holding a special TV anime virtual exhibition on VR Chat. The event will be entirely free to attend and will be starting on February 23rd. Now, initially, I was thinking to myself, as a matter of fact, still, I'm thinking to myself, Black Clover VR experience? Like, huh? Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing or whatever, but it felt like Shonen Jump just picked the name out of a hat and was like, yo, dog, we want to expand in the VR market. At the end of the day, at some given point, VR, the fact that they're pushing millions and millions and millions of dollars into this whole thing, you know, the metaverse and all of that stuff, VR, they're probably looking at it as whenever it does become a staple, it's going to be completely humongous, so much so that they're like, well, we're gonna start, you know, marking our territory, so to speak, and little by little getting people involved. And they decided to start off with Black Clover. Like, maybe some other series that they just really haven't publicized have been doing things like this, and if so, hats off to them for being innovative in general with their manga and anime and trying new ways to get people aboard. But I'm still like, why Black Clover? And I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like we're gonna probably have access to that. It'll probably be like region locked to Japan. But again, things like this is the little bit of the smoke before the fire comes when it comes to where they're going with things next. If they're trying little things like this out now, we could very well be looking at Shonen Jump, you know, Jump Force 2, the VR experience or something crazy like that. Or they could, I don't know, have some VR exclusive anime episodes. The only way to watch these things is on VR, and they're super encrypted, so it's difficult to, you know, rip it out of there or something like that, which pirates will find a way. But yeah, this is just like super bizarre for Black Clover, especially considering it's like entering its grand finale, you know, it's on the final arc and stuff like that. If anything, I would have expected them to be like, yo, we're gonna try starting some VR stuff with One Piece, because One Piece, you're guaranteed that there's already gonna be some people that have VR. It's so big, so many people are into it, so many multi-generational, you know what I'm saying, fan bases. Like, yeah, One Piece probably would have been the move, but I don't know, maybe their analytics is telling them that Black Clover fans are super susceptible to jumping on VR Chat. Wild stuff. But yeah, then we got a little bit more Black Clover related news, because while Jump is doing all of that, we gotta look at the updated sales chart for Black Clover's manga, the success, the declines, all of the above. Let's take a look. Because as you can see with Black Clover, of course, like any other manga, it started off, you know, humble beginnings, doing about like probably 75,000 copies with volume 1, and little by little, it is interesting to note that it seems as though volume 15 was the peak of Black Clover. So let me do a jump cut right here so I could check out what volume 15 even was. So it seems as though that was when they were gearing up to create squads, and Mario Leona was involved and whatnot. I mean, she's on the cover of it. So the Mario Leona volume was the peak of Black Clover sales, and since then it kind of went downhill. But I also will throw the argument that it wasn't anything in particular to do with that arc. It seems as though from the anime start around volume 13, that's when Black Clover saw a little bit of a jump. Nothing extravagant, nothing significant, but it went from, well, actually I take that back. It went from doing about, what is that, 175 to 180 to jumping up to close to 250. It did like maybe 225, 230 or something like that. And yeah, since then it's been downhill. But I would throw the argument that with the last few volumes, it looks like the decline has kind of been not necessarily completely dissolved, but it looks as though like with the manga, it's been slowly going down, but not as rapidly as it was initially, where you seen like, yo, across 2 volumes it's dropping dramatically. So Black Clover, while it's doing pretty much for the most part par for the course of what a Shonen Jump series does once it's on decline, I will commend the fact that at the very least the last few volumes haven't been the most extreme drop-offs, and even up to the latest volume, the one where we had like that super break in between volumes for Tabata to, like, you know, do research for the final arc or whatnot. Even with the big break, the latest volume isn't far off from the previous volume, and volume 32 actually had outdid volume 31, so we was actually seeing, whether it be a small or not, but nevertheless a small increase in Black Clover. And we've seen that, like, look at volume 27 again, like it kind of went up. So Black Clover is like, the fan base is so hardcore for it that occasionally they'll drag a few people in, so it's not completely shrinking and whatnot. But yeah, Black Clover, it's definitely on the decline, but it looks like it's fighting its heart out to not completely go down to, you know, where the manga began in sales. And yeah, I gotta commend it. This is Black Clover's sales evolution, so to speak. It's doing okay-ish, but you could tell that this is probably also another reason why Black Clover is ending soon, because sales aren't outstanding, and while they're slightly trying to stabilize, it's probably at that point where not only Tabata's ready to go, Jump is probably like, yo, we're gearing up for the next gen, fam. Wrap it up. Your sales aren't the greatest either. Which is wild, but yeah, that's probably a part of the whole situation. Either way, this was Black Clover, baby. Okay, next up, I wanted to put this out. It is a call to action, so to speak, for all creators alike in the anime manga world, or in general, maybe you like anime and manga, but you do something else and you want to come over here to Forever News and talk about it. I'm looking for you out there, whoever you may be. You could be a cosplayer, you could be with your original stories, maybe you got something going of like an original comic that you want to be put out there, or you want to come over here, come up for an interview or whatnot. If you want to be featured in Forever News and potentially have even an interview up here, then please go on Twitter, put hashtag Forever News, and show me what you got. Whatever it may be. Again, if you're working on an original manga, you're doing your own pieces of animation, you're a cosplayer, you're a content creator on YouTube, whatever it is, I'm going to be looking at who sends what, and I'm going to be picking some people to be featured in Forever News for some interviews, some coverage, and just in general, I want to see some creatives up here. I want to see some dope stuff. And just to kick things off in this call to action, a creator that I wanted to spotlight today is Siobhan White, the creator of Max Powers. If you haven't heard about Max Powers, it is a comic currently going on over on Webtoons. It is about a superhero, really dope stuff, a whole bunch of black characters, a whole bunch of great storytelling, very much so some of the best Webtoons I have witnessed so far, and I think you would really appreciate what he's been working on. I believe he's going into his 3rd volume now with the climax of one of the biggest battles. So yeah, highly recommend, go to Webtoons, Max Powers comic, check it out, and yeah, let me know what you think. And once again, call to action. If you want to come up here for an interview, you want to talk about whatever you got going on in the anime and manga world, maybe you make merch, maybe you're doing something unique, hashtag Forever News on Twitter, show me what you got, and maybe you can make it up here. And just in general, let's have some fun. Next up, another massive story that has me a little bit shell-shocked right now, to be honest with you, because if you follow Forever News, we recently reported that Jujutsu Kaisen's Gege Akutami had kind of made a little bit of a remark. I want to say it was either at Jump Festa or in one of the author comments, where they basically said they're trying to end it within about a year or so. Well, it seems as though in another author comment as recent as the next issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, once again, Gege Akutami, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, doubled down. They were like, nah fam, you ain't believe what I was saying, we ain't pulling a Horikoshi, you know what I'm saying, there ain't gonna be no extensions here, lad. Yeah, it seems as though they're trying to end it somewhat ASAP. Let's read this one. Gege Akutami, the mangaka of Jujutsu Kaisen, commented in the latest Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 8 that he hopes to quote-unquote finish the story within this year. So once again, Gege Akutami is doubling down that they're trying to end Jujutsu Kaisen way sooner than later, and it's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest with you, because for starters, Jujutsu Kaisen is the #1 selling manga year after year for the last 2 years in a row. So already I'm looking at it, well geez, from a financial standpoint, I understand sales have been going down for it with every volume because it peaked shortly before the film came out, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, well damn, again, My Hero's ending, Black Clover's on its final arc, Jujutsu Kaisen is going to end within 2023, One Piece is on its final arc. Granted, we understand One Piece will probably be on its final arc for many of moons to come, but nevertheless, it's like, what is Shonen Jump gonna do? Once those 3 powerhouses are gone, that's it for the big trio, so to speak, or quadruplets, I guess you would say, adding One Piece, but that's it for that generation generation of battle series. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in Jump Plus, of course, and in V-Jump, but in terms of Weekly Shonen Jump, their mainstream biggest asset, so to speak, it's gonna be really dry come 2024 if they don't make waves to, you know, kind of rectify and get some new series. Like, I'm expecting, if this is truly the case, if Gege Akutami is not pulling our leg and not gonna pull a Horikoshi at the end of 2023 and say, I tried, my bad guys, we could probably be seeing the finishing of this story within this year, and that's going to be massively a blow to Jump in terms of what's gonna happen. So I'm expecting within 2023, Shonen Jump is going to try and throw out a lot of battle series with potential. It felt like last year they kind of gave it a couple of shots with Ayashimon and stuff like that, and I believe Red Hood last year or the year before that, but they've tried and they haven't really been very aggressive with getting some of that classic battle shonen stuff in there. I'm betting now with this announcement, with Tagashi being completely removed as well, you know, that whole Hunter x Hunter return will be no more in Weekly Shonen Jump, they are probably going to be scrambling to a certain degree, saying, okay, we're kind of losing everything, how about some new blood? But either way, I'm wondering as well, can everything be resolved within a year with Jujutsu Kaisen? I mean, I guess this Culling Game saga that we're in right now is gonna be the finale, and we're also gonna see the inevitable fate of some characters and stuff. Like, wow, dog, Jujutsu Kaisen's ending too. But also on the brighter side of things, because I like to leave you guys with a little bit of positivity, that also is a clear indication that 2023's Jujutsu Kaisen, you can probably expect it is going to be some of the best chapters we've ever had, because now's the time where Gege is going to try and, you know, close off plot threads and finish up character arcs and all sorts of stuff. So I'm expecting nothing but pure absolute greatness coming into this year for Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's gonna be the end. No! I guess comment what you think is gonna happen with the ending, and do you think Gege Akutami can get it done within 2023? This is still mind-blowing. What the hell? Have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Yeah!
Lights be flashing and looking at me, such an odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably repeat, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.